Hello and welcome to Red State Radio, a Dead by Daylight podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Bryson, and I'm joined by Stevie
Hello.
and Maddie.
Hello. And
Thank
you
you all
probably
for-
noticed something a little weird.
Yeah, well, I guess they wouldn't because all of our listeners are listeners.
Oh,
but,
yeah, you're right.
But listeners, if
Audio
you do watch
listeners,
us,
listen up. You should
if you
switch to
listen
video
to
right
us-
now.
we
Yeah.
do
You
have
should go
video
to
for the
our
first time
YouTube.
this week. Yeah, check out our YouTube channel at Red State Radio. You can find us there and all of our episodes and other shorts as well, clips from the episodes. Yeah, this is our first week with video, which is cool. Last week we did have video somewhat with Stevie's game at the end of the
This real
episode,
fun. Real
which is
fun.
awesome, super fun. I know people enjoyed that. So this week, and I guess going forward, we'll keep audio on or keep video on, and if things change or maybe people are in different rooms or whatnot, or they're kind of traveling and still recording, then that will vary. But until then, we will keep doing video. So here we are. You can see our lovely faces. This week, this is episode 7. We have a pretty meaty episode. We have lots to talk about regarding the Walking Dead chapter and the Nightmarish 9.1 update. This is going to be our review and our thoughts on this. It's a hot mess out there, y'all. But before we get into any of that,
It's fine.
yeah,
They did their job. They got it out on time.
it was on fire. So
It doesn't
and
work.
DVD.
Well, I mean, it
Um,
doesn't work well.
We'll get in the details. But we have some news to cover. We also have some listener questions to get through, and that'll be fun. But first, I wanted to cover something that we kind of talked about a couple weeks ago regarding Underworld. I watched the first 2 Underworld movies.
Oh my god.
Those are the good ones.
Yeah, yeah. You could certainly call them good, I suppose. So the first movie,
Comparatively.
the first movie is 2 hours and 15 minutes. It is.
It's a bit of a
It's an-
slog.
It's
a
an
little bit long,
investment,
yeah.
and
They
I'm like,
love their
wow.
lore, and they have to get it all
Oh my
out.
God,
In the first
there's so
movie, they
much
get
of
it all out.
Yeah, and it's just like, I'm like, if this movie were maybe 40 minutes shorter, I think I'd like it. It's a lot for a very first, like, 5-film franchise. Like, it's crazy how long it is.
It is. They really love their action scenes. They really love playing it up. And it just spirals from there. The first one's probably the most concise in like an action-y shooter movie, but then it really spirals into like a lot of exposition as a movie for the next few ones. There's no more action after the second one. It's all just love story and lore.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, and that brings me to the second one, which is called Underworld Evolution, which is much shorter. It's an hour, 40 minutes, and it is very much more action-y focused. But there is way more CG in Evolution, and it's not great.
It's unbearable.
Yeah, it's like really rough around the edges, and oh man, yeah, it was fun though.
Rough around the
nonetheless.
edges, yes.
Yeah. But I just wanted to report back and say I
I'm
did
glad
watch
you watched
Fusu.
it. I'm glad.
I'll have to watch it because I didn't. I'm so sorry, Stevie.
No, you're good. I kind of just like, I was like, oh, these are all my favorite Blorbos from everything. And then how do you think about Celine? She would fit, right?
Oh,
Just
absolutely.
as a model for a survivor. She's just a skin. That's
Yeah, absolutely. She's a baddie in it, and she was really cool.
canonical vampire.
By far, probably the most interesting aspects of her and her like backstory with her tragic family, which they delve more into in the second one. Like, it's really, really interesting, and she's a cool character for sure.
I'm into that.
So I might check out the other ones. I'm not quite sure, but I decided to watch the second one mainly because it was so short. So I'll report back if I watch any more in the coming weeks. We'll see.
For your safety, you have better things to do with your time.
That's a good warning to know. So that's funny. Okay, with that said, let's jump into some Wii news regarding DVD. We had the anniversary live stream. We had a live stream for The Walking Dead last week. We got some reveals for 2v8. They revealed some upcoming collections, which were kind of neat and cool. Nothing up my alley, but some really neat ones. But first, we want to cover 2v8. 2v8 is returning this month in August. I'm not quite sure if we have a date on that. Probably within the next couple weeks. They mentioned which I'm kind of bummed about this iteration coming up, but this iteration will include the version where you can queue as killer, but also play at the same time. So you'll be queued as a killer. You'll play your survivor matches, and then once you're out of those, it'll hold your place, and you'll just kind of go back into the killer role. But for this version, because they had to implement that, they are not bringing any new killers to this iteration of 2v8.
That's good. That's good. Please don't bloat it a little bit too much. Let's get like the meta a little more ironed out, have some more testing with the current killers, so that way they can kind of touch up who is currently in 2v8.
Yeah, which
my warbow.
which they did do.
Not
They
yet.
did tweak the Legion.
Not yet.
Which a lot of people were complaining last time about the Legion of just having a mend all the time. So to trigger a down with Legion, it only takes 4 hits like normal. It doesn't take the full 8 players. There are fewer heartbeats on your screen now. So you're not going to have so much input. And I don't think your frenzy lasts as long now. I think it's shorter, so you can't get across the map.
Yeah, it's a bit shorter.
Mm-hmm. Which is good, because I know a lot of people were upset with how they implemented Legion last time.
I don't know if they mentioned if they're going to touch Oni, but I hope they do, just because I felt like...
But I do hope so,
Legion,
too.
was so good.
Yeah, he had his power all the time. He was popping it off. So I was hoping they would limit his ability to a certain amount of downs, kind of like what they did with Legion here. That doesn't seem to be the case. They didn't bring it up, but we'll see what happens when they bring it to live. They are also tweaking some classes. I don't quite remember the specifics here, but I think they're primarily to survivor classes, although I think the shadow class on killer got touched. Again,
Yes,
I don't quite know the details.
They are going to be making the cooldown longer and making it last shorter, I believe.
Okay. And then I think the Jin focused I'm blanking. The Jin focused class for survivors is going to be getting traps on like
guide?
Yeah, I think it's guide. They're going to be able to put on like blast mines or wiretap or like a mix of the two.
They'll probably create like a secret third one that is part of both or like something like that.
Okay. I would be a fan of that.
So that'll be cool. And then the biggest kind of new content here are 3 new maps: Greenfield Square, Larry's, and Shattered Square.
Ooh, I want to see Larry's 2v8. Larry's 2v8 can be good. So
a lot of squares in this one, although Larry's isn't a square. It's a very, very long rectangle.
That's a rectangle. That's a square.
Yeah.
That's a rectangle, exactly.
I'm going to say it now, and I'll probably die on this hill when 2v8 comes around and it leaves. I don't think Larry's is going to be a fun map to play on in 2v8, but we'll see. We'll see. I personally don't like Larry's in 1v4, so I don't think I'm going to like it in 2v8, but that's my opinion.
I love Larry's 1v4, but it's going to be a noob stomper. It's going to be somebody picks Shadow, and then all the killers have to do is just cheese everything. And that's Larry's.
It's like,
Larry's only sucks if you don't have aura reading perks, or if you don't know where everything is.
Yeah.
Once you learn the main building run, it's so strong as a survivor that you're fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of windows.
The funny thing is that I suck at Survivor, so
That's okay.
I think it should be off the board me, and I think it should be fine.
That's totally okay.
So that's kind of the 2v8 news that we're coming out of for the live stream. One other quick little small news thing, which I thought was kind of neat. The community cosmetic contest is over. That ended on the 24th of last month. Last year they had around 3,000 submissions. This year they had over 5,000 submissions. So very, very cool.
How many of them were Tori Kane skins?
So many of them, and I hope
at least 1,000, give or take.
Oh, so many. She's got so much potential.
What surprised me the most is just how many people were doing stuff for Tori. Like, I thought she was like a little popular, but like, I would be not surprised if she got more submissions than Sable did last year.
Bingo. Mm-hmm. It's definitely such a huge proportion. She's the new it girl.
Is she the new it girl? Oh my god.
She's a baddie.
Newest model, Tori Kane, enters the house.
You get it.
So that's really cool. We'll see those. They're going through them. Dork mentioned on the live stream, she's going through them one by one. She has to look through all of those, and I'm sure we'll get finalists probably late August, I'm going to guess, and then voting will happen in September. So that's exciting to see. We will see those down the line.
I wonder if we'll get
moving on. Oh, go ahead.
I thought we're gonna get a gym cosmetic, maybe. I know it won't happen,
Oh,
but imagine.
maybe. We'll get to
We're
more on
getting a
gym
gym
later.
charm,
Yeah.
100%.
Yes, finally.
Let's jump into a listener question. So thank you, Fabian, for sending us in some questions. Remember, listeners,
Woo!
you can send in questions or discussion ideas like Fabian did via the email redstainradio@gmail.com. Fabian, thank you so much for sending in your
Thank
questions. You sent us a
you.
few, which we're actually going to cover now. And then we're actually going to have an episode further on down the line that you kind of brought up a really good idea, and I think we should do that. Anyway, let me get into your email. Hey there, I've been listening for the last few weeks, and I have to say this podcast has been my favorite way to keep up with DVD content. The discussions with sides of banter make for entertaining listen. Just know that you're doing a good job. That is very kind of you, Fabian. Thank you so much. I had a few questions/ideas that'll hopefully give you a few things to think about. So the first question is, with the release of the Walking Dead 9.1 update, which you hopefully have all had a chance to play, how do you feel about the changes coming to the BTB, and how have they affected your game so far as a survivor and killer? Great question. This whole episode will be covering that, so I won't address that question here. So I'll go on to your next one. Have you seen any patterns in gameplay with this new update? I'm going to take this one first. I have seen a lot of gameplay or some patterns here, and that's primarily I've gone against so many clowns, and you all could probably guess why. But Maddie, what have you noticed anything pattern wise regarding gameplay with the new update?
Honestly, a little bit, and I don't know if I'm going to Lulu, so I might be, so please tell me to stop. But I feel like it's kind of a little more sweaty, just in general on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
More so on, I don't actually know, not more so on our side. I feel like just both. Because like for killer, I feel like with the new perks, survivors are a bit more strong to the point where, along with the new items, where keys are no longer useless, when maps are basically windows of opportunity on a stick, and the fog vial being a really good tool to not just lose the killer, but maybe just lose the chase entirely, and they have to start over. It leads to killers having to do sweaty in return, where they kind of have to like tunnel out people. And I've had a lot of survivor games where I'm just tunneled off the bat. It's like, I get why you're losing gens. It's going fast, but like, I want to have fun too.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
see it. I see it.
What about you,
It
Stevie?
also doesn't really
Oh.
help that the game is pretty buggy right now, which we'll be getting into, listeners. Don't worry. But
Yeah.
I feel like with everything going on right now, it's kind of made everyone angry, and so everyone's been acting kind of icky. Me too. I'm not immune to this criticism. I've been kind of talking this color. I'm sorry, and Survivor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's rough out there. What about you,
Yeah.
Stevie?
I mean, I don't agree too much, but I see what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm not gonna play to sweat it out because there's new mechanics, but I love seeing it. I love the survivors trying their hardest and like using tools that are actually effective now. That makes sense. Instead of just run and hide, heal, that's your best option. Now you can actually be like a kind of not skilled player and chase and still have all these tools like windows on a stick, like a fog vial. I think it's good for bad players. And it makes it more fun as a killer because now my chases aren't like, oh, tunnel out the weak link. Now it's like, okay, everyone's got a shot, so I can reliably chase everyone and have a good time. It's not like I feel bad for putting the 90-hour meg on the ground in 30 seconds. It's like, okay, she used like an item as soon as she saw me. She's not really thinking. She just fog vialed and ran away. Cool, she'll learn. But like, I hope she had fun. I think it's fine. The new
Okay.
patches changes need a little ironing out, but
Yeah.
everything they added is definitely mechanically and intentionally there to fix things.
So we got different perspectives. I'm a bit more negative. You're a bit more
Yeah.
positive. Bryson, what do you think,
Uh,
Bryson?
I mean, am I happy I'm going more against more clowns? No. And am I happy at where clown sits right now? Absolutely not. I think clown is a hot mess. I don't want to go against more clowns. Like, just it's insane the distance he can close now, and the lunges he has, especially if you pair it with coup or like batteries include with other haste perks. Like, it's insane. Like, again, we'll get into more of these, but that's kind of just a pattern. I've seen a lot of clowns.
Yeah. Oh
Maddie,
yeah.
I would definitely agree with you in terms of, I don't want to say people being more sweaty, but I feel like right now, and we'll actually get into this with Fabian. I'm actually going to go into Fabian's next question, which is, what do you
Do
think the
it.
biggest problem with DBD is at the moment? And I think a big part of it, and it's really revealing to this chapter or this update particularly, is the us versus them debate. Which, for those of you who aren't really familiar, I think this is more of a Reddit kind of term or
And like a big
Reddit
Twitter.
community.
No,
Yeah,
it shows up in game as well, but rarely. It's like under a
Yeah,
magnifying glass when you take it to social media because no one's like
exactly.
yeah,
screenshotting their good games and saying this was a lot of fun, and everyone's not gonna upvote that a lot or
They're just like,
share it
right.
this
around.
killer told me out, get him!
So
They'll
the
be
us
like,
versus
yeah, it's
us
easy to
versus
share with your friends.
Exactly,
yeah. So
exactly.
the us versus them debate is like it's in this situation it's killers versus survivors. Like, oh, one side's broken or one side's overpowered, etc., etc. And
Mhm.
people really like to harp, especially if you're a main on one side, to really harp on a specific problem. Like, for example, if you're a survivor now, you might be harping on the problem with the ghoul or even the clown's current state. If you're a killer, you're probably harping on the fog vials that you lose chase, that you spent, a whole minute and a half worth chasing, and then you automatically just lose them. Or maybe it's conviction that you have a problem with because slugging is a viable solution for in game, and now that's kind of been taken out of your playbook. So that us versus them debate right now is really hot. Like, I've seen it in not only just Reddit but like TikTok comment sections. Like, really, like, oh, killers are mad that that survivors have one broken perk or whatnot. Like, there are some exploitative bugs right now regarding perks we'll get into later, but like that that problem has been really compounded right now with this update. So that's what I would argue is kind of my biggest problem, but I think it's just the community's biggest problem in the game as a whole. But CV, I'll jump to you first. What do you think the biggest problem with DBD is at the moment?
I like your answer a lot, but I thought new player retention is going to be the biggest
Yeah,
issue. You see a lot of new players kind of see the game like that, where they're like, "Oh, it's just a survivor sided game. Why would I play killer? I always get people escaping 4 out on me. I can't even learn the strongest killers. I can't level anything up," and like that feeds into it. If you play Survivor a bunch for your beginning, you're like, "Oh, killers are so strong. How am I supposed to escape against 40 killers who I can't figure out a single one at a time because every game is Kaneki, every game is Kenneth, and
Can
every,
it,
big Kenneth buffs."
can it,
But
can it?
new players just have it the roughest because you're dealing
Mhm.
with a big giant sea of information that is the game's mechanics. It's all the perks, it's all the killers, it's all the items, it's all these subtle interactions. And that subtlety you don't get until you're experienced in the game. You don't understand why you went down. You don't understand why the survivor keeps going faster than you. You should be faster than them. Why are they able to go faster than you? But it's like you're going around the loop too long, or you're like just looking the wrong way and they're holding check spots. And until you like learn what a survivor's doing, you won't be a good killer. And until you learn what a killer's doing, you won't feel like you're learning as survivor. And I think that is the us versus them. It's a refusal to say I don't need to learn half the game. I tried it, I hated it, or I didn't start off better than everyone else. That's a common sentiment in every video game, but it's true in Dead by Daylight. You think because I'm good at killer, I should be good at survivor. I put them on the ground 100 hours a day, but I can't run faster than them anymore. I can't loop killers like they loop me. But I think that's new players kind of needing to branch out and play the entire game, and then you'll really love playing Dead by Daylight and stick around for a long time. The people who play it the longest and have the best time are people playing both sides.
great answer.
And I think
Great
that's how
answer.
you fix new player retention. You make it easy enough to play both sides.
Mhm. What about you, Maddie?
Honestly, my opinion is different from both of you, but it kind of connects, and that's kind of gameplay design slash direction.
Mhm.
When with the recent patch, honestly, I kind of feel like this issue's been like really magnified, where it feels like behavior doesn't really know where to go right now. And that sounds really mean, so I'm sorry if that's mean. So this is just my opinion. So you're allowed to shit on my opinion, not on me. That's weird. But uh what I find weird is that they'll do one thing and then do something that completely contradicts it. Like let's take Chucky for example. I want to say earlier last year they nerfed him because people found it really annoying where he would throw down a pallet, he would scamper right down and it could hit you. pallets were completely useless against him. And let's say you throw it before he's even there, then he can just slice and dash and hit you. But the main problem was that he could just go under it without having to use slice and dash. So you're just gonna get hit no matter what. And they were like, we're gonna remove this because it's not fun and there's no real counterplay. So then a couple months later, we get Ken Kaneki, also known as the Ghoul, and he has a tech called Kidnap Tech, where he can hit you with his power when you're on the other side of the pallet. It'll keep you in place, you can't move, and he'll come over the pallet, and he can keep going after you. This became an issue because, as I said before, Chucky did basically the same thing, but they said it was a bad thing, and then they released a killer who's not only better than him, but does the same exact thing. So it was really just not fun. And now we're getting perks and situations. Like later in the episode, we're going to talk about a perk that's really bugged right now. And people are saying, hey, we should kill switch this because it's really problematic. And they said, we're not going to do that because it's not too game breaking. And people feel like that's kind of messed up, specifically killer players, because there was a bug with Pig where you could basically chase people when their traps were on and it would still tick down without being paused and they could just be killed and there was nothing they could do. And they'd kill switch her. And killers now have to deal with a perk that is really annoying and not as awful as Pig. I'm gonna say Pig is so.
They didn't kill switch Pig. It was a meme that somebody made that was very well timed. It was a shit post.
Kill switch Pig. Oh my gosh.
You and me, we've all got baited.
I fell for misinformation. Oh my god.
No, don't worry.
Okay,
They
so
never nerf Pig. This is something I have a gripe with. They'll never nerf Pig.
Ignoring the second point. My last point stands where they'll do a decision that feels kind of contradictory. And I feel like that was also exemplified in the recent patch, where they released a tile. People weren't super happy with the tile, but most people were pretty okay with it, I found. Like, it was kind of like most people on one side, on one small platform, versus everyone else that doesn't really speak about it. Everyone was like, we're fine with the tile spawning in, even if it feels weird and could be setting up a bad precedent. And they're like, actually, no, we're not going to do that because there's negative feedback, / we don't feel like it. We're going to make it a map. And the map is not really good. I'm sorry. The map is really questionably balanced. Like, the main tile itself, though small, is pretty powerful for Survivor, and for some killers, it's actually better for them. But besides that, it's Shack and Greenville surroundings, and Greenville is not a great map most of the time. When
Greenville, the only thing in its, like, the deck of cards it can spawn is, like, Shack main building and strong maze tiles.
And that's it.
It can't do anything else.
And it feels weird because they kind of hip-hopped between what they were going to do till release, and now everyone's like, why did you do that?
Oh, big time.
Really want
and you can still look through it. You can still go to the PTB, and it says realm expansion.
I know.
It's like, and then now it's like, before it said map expansion, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. And I can fully admit, I was a bit of a hypocrite because before I wanted to be a full map. I didn't really like the precedent of map tiles. But I can also realize that's entirely me. That's my opinion, and I can be wrong. But in the grand scheme of things, the map is just kind of another example of them doing things that I don't really like. And there's another thing that I don't personally agree with, but people don't really like fog files. Like, when they were released in the fog crystals during the Halloween event and 2v8, I thought they were okay. And then when they were talking about adding a new item, I was hypothesizing that, hey, they're going to add an item. I don't really like that. I think it would be annoying. But then they implemented it, have the cooldown. It's like, okay, I can deal with this. But for some people, it's really annoying. And of course, you have to take into consideration people who have a disability or have trouble seeing and how that affects them, because having your screen go completely white and cloudy may not be super serious for most people, but for some people, it can be pretty annoying. Like, some people still get really annoyed when they get flashlighted, not because it's, like, annoying. Well, some people do. But there are some people who say, like, it hurts their eyes because it's too bright, and it just kind of happens too quickly.
You get this a lot where, like, the way Killer is designed, you're supposed to be disoriented to, like, actually disable your ability to keep hunting survivors. That's their counterplay, but it just feels bad if you have a lot of sensitivities to anything. Most notably, I think people comment on, like, Legion and nurse fatigue really giving people motion sickness, stuff like that. It's interesting that they'll just the fog vial is probably their least egregious version of it, where
it's definitely down there.
This is the way we can do it now, they say. Where it's like, this is how we can make the survivors stronger visually.
Yeah, but you definitely added something I wanted to add, is that even though the cloud thing might be small, it's one thing. It's one of things that Survivor can do multiple. Let's say you're playing like Legion. You have that fatigue, You have the fog ball in a match, someone can have a flashlight, someone else could bring a perk like Blast Mine, which actually does have that bright light before you get flashlighted. So it's just in general, there's a lot of decisions that they make that they say, hey, we're not going to do this, and then they do something else, and it's like, why are you doing that? No. That's what I think is the biggest problem in DBD, though. Sorry if I was yapping too much.
No, absolutely not. You brought up a lot of great points. I totally agree with you. They do bring up a lot of contradictory design choices. Your point about, Chucky Scamper and the ghouls, whatever you want to call it, kidnap tick. It's funny because Chucky Scamper is worse. Like, you can throw it, but then he still has to charge up that slice and dice, right?
Yes.
Like, if he wants to hit you, otherwise he has to exit with an M1 dash. Or you can even, and you also don't stay in place with that scamper. Like, you are able to keep moving, unlike the ghouls kidnap tech. So it's somehow even worse than what. But yeah, it's weird that they say, we think that's too powerful, let's remove it, and then they come out, a year or two later, or about a year later, and then it's like, well, this new character has it, but he goes over it and he keeps you in place. So very well said. Very well said. Hopefully,
I think we all make good points, though. Everyone has a good point. Like new player
Absolutely.
retention, gameplay design, and of course, I'm forgetting the words. Oh,
no worries. And speaking of player retention, Fabian did mention his last question. Overall, what would you recommend to beginners to get better at playing the game? We're going to turn this into a full-length episode. We have, all three of us have been playing for many, many years now. I think we all have some really good tips on how new players can get better at the game. We won't probably we might, I don't know, it depends on kind of where we take the direction, but we'll come with a list of things. But we may come with like killer specific ones or perk specific, or may just be broad in general like that. So
it'll
we'll definitely come back
be
at you.
Broken up into different segments you'll be able to get different information from each one.
I have an idea now. I really want to say it, but we should
go for it.
We should say
a little
gather our thoughts there.
Exactly. So
sounds good. Cool. Thank you, Fabian, for sending in your questions. That's all four of them. Very kind words in your email. We very much appreciate it. Listeners, remember, or viewers, if you're a viewer now, you can send us an email at redstainradio@gmail.com. Email us your questions. Send us a idea for a future discussion, and we'll happily look into it. With that, we've already kind of hinted at it. Topic of the show, The Walking Dead, and the 9.1 update review. It is here. It is here. The Walking Dead is
in
here.
In its current state, it is here.
So we've already kind of given some of our thoughts overall. So we're just going to go ahead and just dive into kind of the specifics, starting with the survivors. We have Rick, Michonne, Grimes. What do we think of their perks? For me, I have not touched Rick's perks at all. I've not looked. I put them on for his Adept. My first game, I got Adept, and then I haven't put them on at all. Michonne's perks, on the other hand, I've been using Conviction a lot, and I really, really like Conviction, y'all. I got 2 really good escapes. Maddie, I think, witnessed 1 or 2 of them, and it was just like, it was so good. It felt so good. I do expect this perk to get nerfed, however. I feel like maybe heal and, recovering to, what is it, 20, 30%?
It's 20%, I think.
20%? I'm betting they're going to bump that up to maybe 50 or even more. But yeah, Conviction's great. I'm really enjoying it. It's really the only new perk I've touched. But perk-wise, Maddie, what do you think of the new survivors?
Honestly, I pretty much agree with you. Rick's perks are pretty underwhelming. Like the crowd point when you unhook and you reveal yourself behind the others is not that great because Babysitter is right there and it's just infinitely better. Which I feel like is I'm not gonna go on a rant. I just feel like recently they've released perks where it's the worst thing to a perk that already exists.
Yeah.
So not a big fan of that. And his other 2 perks are pretty forgettable for me. Like one of them's like if you pallet stun the killer, you hide your grunts of pain or something, or if someone pallet stuns the killer, it's like, okay, but there's literally a perk from Yunjin where if someone gets hit, you hide the same thing. So I'm just gonna use Yunjin, and she's free in quotation marks. I can get her without spending money.
Yeah.
And then the third perk, I literally don't remember what it does.
The
it's something about
fragile palette. that
A
you can
fragile
build.
palette,
The
yes.
Two
anniversary
chests
palette.
makes an anniversary
Yeah,
palette. Yep.
terrible perk. Terrible
Amazing perk.
I've heard that there's like a visual bug where if you make a pallet into a fragile pallet and then you break it, it doesn't leave behind the wood shards.
Oh,
So it can make it look like a pallet never spawned there, just like
Oh,
visually.
that's
It doesn't really
interesting.
affect gameplay.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've not seen that.
But yeah,
Like, of
and
course
then
you haven't seen it
oh,
because there was no
Yeah,
wood
that's true.
shards.
There's no wood shards, of
yeah, it's
course.
all good. It's all good, Steven. Keep going, keep going. I was just gonna rant about
I
Michonne. Oh,
I
praise.
do like the perks in theory. I just haven't seen anyone use more than like 2 of them.
Yeah,
As
I've just seen
killer,
two.
I mean, I've seen people running Last Stand and they've hit me with it,
yeah,
but like, it's fine. I think it's like a flashbang that you can like save. It's like background player flashbang.
yeah, very much.
You know,
But
um,
yeah,
it's good.
what I was saying about Michonne is that it's very much hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby. Rick is the coughing baby, Michonne is the hydrogen bomb. Because
Mhm.
even though one of her perks are great, it's the you pallet stun somebody, the killer, all the survivors get endurance.
The
It's
teamwork
okay.
perk.
You
Yeah,
never
Seen that one
It's
go off,
fine.
and it was fine. It was good.
Yeah, like it's like a solid C B tier. It's fine. And then the other two are amazing. Conviction, as Bryson said, it can be a game changer. Like I've used it
Oh
like maybe
yes.
like in 5 games, and of those 5 games, I had at least saved my life twice where the killer just lost me, or I just ran somewhere, got under a pallet, had a power struggle build, and then they just couldn't get me.
Mhm.
And then
But
last
you've been
stand,
using it with plot twist all the time, or have you been getting slugged like naturally?
like naturally,
Okay.
that's the weird thing. And then I just keep getting value. It's like, okay, killer, you don't get anything. I get value. Bye bye.
Yeah,
And
I've
then
noticed it gets you get real good value out of it in game. Like when you're going for
especially endgame,
the hook
yes.
that the killer is scamping, you go for the hook yourself. They're likely going to slug you, the person who's getting hooked, and they're going to go for whoever is running towards exit gate, maybe the injured survivor you just unhooked. That's how I've used it. I've used that the 3 times I used it to get out were those 3 situations. But I've also used it where maybe a survivor got downed and then I was nearby wounded and then they went for me and I got downed, but then they went back for the other survivor and I got up with conviction and then I later on went and plot twisted and recovered just so I didn't get a hook state there. So those are the two
Right, like
situations
you can
I've
take a
used
hit
it.
for someone and you're injured and you
Yeah,
know you
exactly.
can get up and you know the killer's gonna want to snowball. You can guarantee value like that.
Exactly.
Or if
And
someone's
I would
dead
say
hook and I don't want them to die quite yet, that's another way to use it.
That's
as well.
good.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's good.
it's all good. I was just gonna say, conviction for me would be the best perk in this update if it weren't for the bug with Last Stand. If you don't know, listeners, we're gonna talk about it later, but there's a bug that makes Last Stand a lot stronger, and I'd say there's a stronger than finesse, even when you're injured. And
Yeah.
combined with the fact that you can stun the killer with it, even though it takes 90 seconds, you really don't notice you're getting value from it, like getting it charged when you're just doing a gen and they're nearby chasing someone else. Like by the time you get it, it's gonna be like a gen was done or someone got hooked like once or twice. And then for the rest of the game, until the killer is dumb enough to get close to you when they see a unique vaulting animation, you get like a 5% increase to your vault speed, which is a bug, but it's just basically so good. And sometimes it just doesn't get hit by certain projectiles. I've heard, I hadn't seen it, but like we're gonna talk about it later. But
Interesting.
in the current version now with the bugs, Last Stand went from being like an okay perk to the best because it's just better finesse.
It's silly. It's silly.
Really silly, really silly. So
Yeah. I will
yeah.
say one thing about Last Stand is I play a few killer matches and I got hit with it, the stun. I'm meaning, out of kind of nowhere, which I thought was hilarious. There was Shane kind of vaulted into me at Shack, and I was like, "Why are you vaulting into me?" And then I got stunned. I was like, "Oh, that's why." And I started laughing out loud because it was so funny. Because I was like, "Oh yeah, you have that perk. I forgot that even existed." But that's the only time I've seen it actually work the way it was intended to, rather than the vault speed bug that's currently going on. So. Yeah, it's a bummer. That is the reason it's getting used. But we'll talk more about that later.
Quick counterplay to that. If you notice somebody like, constantly using the vault on its own and not actually going for the stun, maybe they're trying to take chase and they're just constantly using the vault, maybe thinking that they're abusing it. If you eat the stun, it disables the perk. So once you know what they're doing, you put yourself in the way and their perk turns off. And you know they don't have a perk anymore. So that's what I've been doing. I know it's until they fix it, but
that's a good counterplay.
you eat the
Very,
stun
very
and
well
it
done.
turns off.
Yeah. The fact that the perk was designed to stun and that's the way to counter it is crazy.
You make it work.
Yeah, Kind of wild.
What's going
They're
on?
not going to kill. I guess they're not going to kill switch that or Streetwise, but we'll get into that.
Please turn off Streetwise, please.
Yes. Let's talk about the voice acting with these characters. So Rick and Daryl are voiced by their respective actors. Michonne, on the other hand, is not. Although I don't think Michonne sounds bad. Other than, man, her grunts of pain, and when she is infected with plagues, vomiting, it's really like nonstop coughing and like whining and like gasping for air. It's really loud and constant, which doesn't seem intended.
No,
But
it's super weird too, because like even when she's healthy and she's running around when I play with her, she's so loud. She's like, it's like, did you run?
Like,
I mean,
why
I
is
know
she
we're in
so...
a life-and-death situation, but like, look at Fung, look at Ace. They're fine, I think.
It's so weird. Like I was just so confused as why she was so loud and so exhaustive as she was running without being injured. So I don't know what's going on there.
There's also a bug with her audio, which we'll talk about later in the episode, which is a little funny. Which
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that it's... I guess that's why her... we'll get into it later. I don't want to bring it up here. We'll talk about bugs later.
Listeners and viewers. Oh my god.
Oh, I did want to bring up Rick. So Rick and Daryl's screams, their grunts of pain and stuff, are not done by the voice actors. They usually find like sound-alikes to do those, because that's like hours and hours of time in the sound booth.
You know, they don't actually find sound-alikes is the thing.
Oh, really?
What TWD will do is find metal vocalists. They'll find people who scream for their job.
Oh, that makes sense.
That way it's not like ruining someone's voice. The thing is, you have somebody like Nicolas Cage who said, you want to find a sound-alike? There is no sound-alike. I'm Nicolas Cage. I'm the only Nicolas Cage. And then he continued to scream into the booth for 3 hours.
Insane.
So it's a little different how they do things.
Yeah, so they try to find a metal vocalist who sounds like the character, and Rick's screams just does not sound like him. That's my one, I think, complaint regarding his voice. Like, it's really bad.
It's different. It's jarring.
I mean, this in the nicest way possible. It sounds like he had Taco Bell, and it just did not go down well.
That's a good one.
Yeah, good way of putting it.
Ignore the fact I just like 3 times.
With that said, I do like Daryl and Rick's voice lines. Also, they have voice lines with Michonne and each other, depending on how they're interacting with each other, which I think is really cool. Some of the Rick lines I love. So when he gets hooked, he might say, "Carl, ... I tried."
Aww.
That's really kind of sad.
That's sad.
If you know about The Walking Dead, I won't spoil it here for you. The sun should have been up hours ago. Okay, first of all, I heard that in the lobby, and I was just like... terrifying. Like, that is scary to me. Like, you are new to this world, you expect kind of it to work the way you think the world does, and the sun doesn't come up. Like, that is just that really struck fear in me more than anything that really DVD has provided. I don't know, it's really psychological for me, but I thought it was great.
I mean, just go to Coldwind. Easy. Come on, the sun's always open.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go on Coldwind.
Oh my god.
And then the other one I liked was when I loaded into Match. He said something, and then I feel like we're being hunted. I just really liked those lines. They're really cool. And then Daryl, I think, like, if he's escaping...
Good feeling. Good spider sense, Rick.
Yeah, very much a leader and survivor himself. But Daryl has one where if he's escaping through the gates, he'll say "fuck you." Like, that's really cool. So that's kind of nice. So there's a lot of interesting ones.
I love when they curse. I love when my little Dead by Daylight characters make it an M-rated game.
Yes. When Chucky's like, "Don't you fucking me!"
Don't fuck with the Chuck.
Don't fuck with the Chuck.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Or the first classic one, the first ever survivor with lobby animations or lobby sounds, Ash Williams. Look who's shitting in the tall grass.
Literally.
Oh man, love it. And then they have a lot of cosmetics. So I bought one for Rick, which was just his jacket, just his abdomen, because his pants are essentially the same as his default, but they're charging for it. Weirdly,
for $5.
Like, they're a different shade of color. That's it.
Yeah.
And then his hair just looks bad.
Yeah.
Michonne is also similar, where she has like different colored headbands or like a lock of hairs in a different position. They're also charging you for that. Like, just buy the
Yeah.
abdomen pieces
Exactly.
for those,
Oh, we
and
got out again.
don't waste any other money. It's insane.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and I just want to add that this isn't the first time they've done this.
no,
Because
it's not.
when the Resident Evil chapter first launched with Nemesis, Leon, and Jill, they did the same exact thing, specifically with the headpieces, where I think in their purple costume, it was the same exact haircut. Like, nothing changed. It was the exact same, except maybe like there was like a little hair strand changed. It was the same exact thing. And they changed it. They're like, okay, sorry, we're gonna link it. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's whatever.
Instead of saying the 2 parts you can buy on their own and not get the third, you're supposed to always buy all 3
Exactly.
parts.
And now I'm scared they're gonna do the same exact thing with The Walking Dead, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, if you got one piece, you're just gonna have to buy the rest if you want to wear that." Then it's like,
I hope
It
not.
might make
because I
them
really
more
like that
money,
coat.
is all they're telling each
I
other.
don't want to give the money in this current update. I already bought the chapter.
Yeah, like $8 is enough for me.
Not enough.
I will admit, I never buy a new chapter. I always take a new chapter release as an excuse to buy all the old chapters I'm missing.
That's fair.
So I just have a
That's fair.
backlog of chapters I'm waiting for to go on sale, and then maybe I'll think about buying them.
Exactly.
And then
Smart,
when they
very
release a
smart.
new one or they do anniversaries, yeah.
Exactly.
I unfortunately buy I have every chapter, so I don't have any to go back to. I have to, if I want the new thing, I have to get the new thing, unfortunately.
Amen,
so.
brother. Same here.
Okay, with that, go ahead before we move on.
I was gonna say, before we move on past the cosmetics, going back to the voice acting,
yeah.
Michonne has a voice line where when she's hugged, she's like, "Get me off this thing!" And in the background, it's quiet.
Yeah.
You can hear the casting director say, "That was a good take." This
No
is like
way.
a $1 million game.
I'm into that.
I think we can hear.
Yeah, it's insane. Which I presume is why her voice lines were not in the PTP, was because they were trying to finish
Still
them up.
recording it?
Yeah,
Huh.
I don't.
Oh, behavior. What's going on here?
So then, like,
Sloppy
was
work.
this chapter like behind schedule? Was it rushed? Like, what's going
Was it
on?
rushed?
I
That's what I was
don't.
gonna say.
I just don't understand.
They did a roadmap so early in the year that I think they felt beholden to it.
Yeah, or maybe it was like the Walking Dead team, or AMC, I should say, where like, we want this chapter released this time, and we are not going to budge. If we don't do this time, we're not going to do it. And so maybe they felt pressured to do that.
Yeah, another kind of downside to using licenses, right?
Licenses.
Compared to original
Yeah.
chapter. Original chapter you can move anytime or release anytime. So
Exactly.
yeah, and then with the last bit of the Walking Dead content comes the new Fallen Refuge map. I have yet to play on this map. I have yet to see it. I've not seen it. What I have seen this map is that it has a really bad 3-gen. Apparently you can stand within the main building and easily patrol 2 other gens that are nearby. Not good. I've heard not good things about this map. Maddie, what about you?
I played on this map once. I lost. I was survivor. No big deal. My problems are, 1, it's tiny. B, the tiles in the map suck unless it's the main building or the shack, obvi. And C, why is it green? I get we're on Greenville and you want to like replicate it, but like, why is it green? And not to be mean, it's weird how the title screen menu for The Walking Dead being like, "Oh, we're at the Walking Dead chapter," has more effort put into that loading screen than the entire map. Because it's literally just Greenville and one tile versus all these custom models, all these custom placements, having that iconic like highway from, I'm assuming season 2 is what they were trying to go for. Why does that have more effort than the actual map? It feels weird, and it really shows that they didn't want to do a map, but they were like, "Let's do a map." Why?
Yeah, I will also say that this wasn't pre-announced. Like, we knew there wasn't a map coming, but this was kind of a nice surprise. So it is kind of, I don't say tacked on, but it's kind of it's a surprise to players that this is coming.
It
But
was an
Stevie,
interesting surprise.
yeah, definitely. Stevie, do you have any thoughts on the Fallen Refuge?
Like I don't know what their direction was with it. That's why I'm like I can't wait to play it and like, test the balance of the map, because they can make a good map with it with anything. It's just whether they choose to or not. The main buildings have always had like a problem, and the fact that you're kind of creating a map without a main building, you kind of lose something to like most of them. It does fill most of the space, but if this map is just a shack and a big tile, what's the difference of it and like old shelter woods? Old
Mm-hmm.
Shelter Woods was similar issue, it seems, and the fact that they changed it to have a main building might actually fix things. I think the new tile that they made shouldn't have gone in its own map. I think
Yeah,
people got too
agreed.
attached and confused by the map showcase thing they did on the PTB. Enough people would probably complained that they just committed to full sending it as a new realm expansion, a map. But before it was a map expansion, I think the intention was that this was to make Garden of Joy more unique. I don't think people should have been wanting that either, but the fact that it was never really hammered down, or actually, we didn't actually know what was going to happen with it when they first announced it. It wasn't a new map on the roadmap. It was in two survivors, licensed content, no new map, no new realm
Mm-hmm.
expansion. So
Yeah.
it was a surprise to see it. I think it was maybe meant like the loading screen and like the chapter trailer, that this was kind of just them making a setting to film in, like record trailers in
Yeah.
engine. And they do a lot of that. Like with every character, you'll see kind of like their trailer rendered in engine in like a unique setting. And I think
Yeah.
that's what this was for. It just kind of left the it jumped out of the pan a little
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
uncooked, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. And to kind of build on that, I think it's a little weird how we're getting one map this year, which is going to be in March of next year. It's going to be March 2026 or May 2026. And it's just one map. And I feel like they were really planning to focus on that one map. And then they saw the feedback, and everyone was like, okay, we're going to make a new map. And everyone was like, but what about the new realm map? And they're like, we got a year. We can just make it whatever, and people will like it. And then no one likes it.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Yeah, man, I think one of the weaknesses of behavior is really comes down to their maps. And they
Yes.
don't do it a lot of them, a lot, but they're all over the place. Like, just look at
Did
current
y'all play
Haddonfield.
far enough away to remember like old ironworks, like old Thompson House? You remember like Matt Walker windows,
I
the
Oh
don't
ones that
God.
you
remember
either had
those.
bamboozle
I
or
remember, oh God, I remember like really long ago when the Thompson house, or the Hillbillies house, I think it's called
the
Thompson
Thompson
House.
House. Yeah, I still remember old Thompson House like
Yes.
it was
Oh my
like
God.
it's a dream from yesterday. I want to go back.
I remember how the house looked so, I don't want to say bad, but
It
it
was
looked like a
empty.
PS2 game.
It was a
Mhm.
There was
PS2 game.
simply,
Yep.
there was
Yeah,
no
I remember it
furniture,
being empty.
and the stairwell was literally just stairs, no railings, and there was
Hmm.
a giant hole in the middle. It's like, yes, entity, give us Barbie Playhouse, like an actual Barbie Playhouse. And then, oh my God, and just looping it. There was like one upstairs area where if the killer stood in the doorway, you could not leave. You were stuck there forever,
Hmm.
and there was nothing you could do. It
The
was,
Macmillan and Coldwind reworks were some of the best things ever, and the
yes,
fact that they kind of nowadays they're like, oh, too scared to make big maps
yeah.
because they still do the same thing. They still release a map, and it's crazy when they release it.
And it's
Hmm.
so crazy how people are like, we don't really like indoor maps, and they're like, we're never gonna do it again. Like, I get people don't love them, but like they have charm. They have good
Yeah.
balance sometimes, not
Yeah.
all the time. Like Larry's is not really good. Uh, Hawkins is not also
Oh
really
God,
great.
Hawkins is horrible.
But like I feel like how they did the Freddy's map, which is amazing, which is weird because it came out the patch before. I feel like they could do a really good indoor
Mhm.
map.
Uh,
It's
I
like
feel like I'm
one
taking
guy's
crazy
game.
pills. I think Badham is the shittiest map ever because it's so old. I
Oh
think
yeah, it had 5 variants. They removed 5 of them
yeah, we're just
before.
playing on Badham 1 right now, and
Which
that's
is so weird.
Yeah.
probably the
Which
one
is
of the
so.
bad ones.
Why did they make 5 variations of one map? And they're like, yeah, we
Insane.
cooked. Like now we just all played on Badham, and we didn't like
For
that.
for and for it to be a location that you don't really see in the movies, which is crazy.
Yeah, it was so
Like
weird.
you do eventually you get to the boiler room in the movies, but like nothing else is featured other than the
Yeah,
neighborhoods. But even then, like they're not
yeah,
even significant. Like you're just making a neighborhood, like
yeah.
Haddonfield
Yep.
is.
It's also weird that the boiler rooms were so tiny comparison to the movie. Like the movie, they were huge, and then the map is just kind of like a hallway.
Yeah, and the school isn't even a school. It's like a room with two
Yeah,
lockers
like
in it or two lockers. Like
one
it's
child is learning here a gremlin, a goblin.
yeah, it's just I understand the reason they don't make a lot of maps is because they take a lot of resources and they
100.
don't make money off them. They're free for
Mhm.
everyone, which I get.
Exactly.
But man, they have a such a big swing to or big impact on the enjoyment of a match. Like if I load into a Haddonfield, I know I'm gonna lose. I just like more likely than anything, I'm going to lose that match because current Haddonfield is just terrible. I'm not saying go back to the original Haddonfield because that one's also bad. But like, there's just so many dead zones. The street is so bad. You can get really bad 3-gens with Maine.
You got to learn how to
one
greet
in Maine.
pallets.
Like, but like,
yes,
it's
what, never drop a pallet. Do not drop a pallet.
Yeah,
they are stronger when they're up.
The yeah. So, I'm not planning on following Refuge. I've considered just loading into a bot match and loading up into a private match to see it. But I don't think Greenville Square is a very good map either. I think if the tiles were a little more varied, especially there in the center of the map, I don't like the 2 pallets against a rock kind of thing. Like those tiles are terrible.
Left 2 pallets against a rock. That's the best.
The double pallet setup. I either get a survivor to pre-drop both of them within 2 seconds, or I eat both stuns and it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
There's no other in between with those interactions. I love killer against double pallet rock.
I think Greenville Square would be much better if they moved one of those center gens to the parking lot. There is nothing in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Why is there not a gen there? There is sometimes a gen that spawns at the end of it near a jungle gym, but there's never one in the parking lot. Just put one there.
And the one that spawns near it is kind of exposed as well. It'll be on like the corner of the like back wall, so it's kind of just like in between an open parking lot and a TL wall or a jungle gym. The only thing that can spawn next to it is dead zone or one
or like
jungle gym.
I think a rock or something.
Yes. Yeah, like that's peak getting touched territory. You will get touched in that area.
It feels like it, but then it ends up being one of the safer spots because you have such that big corner where if the killer chases you into the parking lot, you either loop into main building after you take a hit, or you die in the corner, and now the killer has to bring you all the way back to the middle of the map while everyone does a more effective gen. I do like the way Greenville Square is set up, where it's very pick and choose, where one thing you do on one side of the map can really affect how the rest of the map plays. I like the way Greenville is set up. But some of those gens need to be spread differently. A killer who knows what they're doing can just let the main building, the fountain, maybe shack, and then boom, now they have a 4-gen that's in between 4 trees.
Theater and fountain always gets done, and then everything else is just up for
You need
grabs,
to save them.
So.
Much like Dead Dog's survivors, you have to save your main building gen till the end. If it's strong and easy to do, don't do it first. It's easy to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't 3-gen yourself.
Do not 3-gen yourself or you will die.
A 3-gen is always survivor's fault. Unless it's old chess merchant.
I was about to say chess merchant.
That's the one case, and she's gone, long forgotten.
Bye, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, skull merchant kind of just gone.
Yeah.
Rip skull merchant, but they're in the process.
2026. She will rise. She will come back from the grave.
Yeah. So that's the Fallen Refuge map. So let's move into kind of the other updates that came with 9.1, and that includes the clown changes that were from the PTB. These went live. People said they shouldn't go live, and Behavior moved forward with it. And now we have Clown, an obese, cannibalistic man, running faster than Legion across the map. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Hey, the lust for fingers, it drives you wild, I guess.
Maddie, I'll jump to you first. What are your thoughts on Clown's current state?
Honestly, at first, I was not a fan. I don't like Clown. He's my least favorite killer to go against and play as, just because I think his gameplay is really boring. Now, I'm not saying that's objective. Some people love playing him. Awesome for you. For me, not really it. I love playing Dredge, though, as I talk about all the time, along with Fekna and Springtrap. Anyway, at first, I wasn't really liking it, and when I went against him, like, for 5 times in a row, and getting hit by the speed bottle, and then being like, oh, I can stand in it, and then he's, like, running Mach 10 at you, and it's like, oh, shit, I'm dead. It's not great. However, I do think in the long term, this is going to be a good thing, and maybe people disagree with that, but here's why. It's because it's taking away agency from the survivor and giving agency to the killer. Because one of the main reasons I disliked the Clown so much is that I would get slowed down, the killer didn't get anything, I just kept losing stuff until eventually he got the down. It felt very much like him, like, hitting me with a spoon, and kept hitting me with the spoon over and over and over again until I fell over. Kind of like old Legion, if you remember that, where he just kept stabbing you until he died. But now it's more about the Clown skill. When he gets that speed boost, yeah, he can run you down, but if you have a pallet, if you have a window, you can try and run around it. I think the current problem people have now is that they'll do like either a full-on speed build where they have all the speed perks, or they'll do a looping build where they have bamboozle, brutal strength, enduring, and stuff like that. And that's when it
I
becomes
think the
a
issue
problem.
is that both of those builds look the same is kind of
And
the
they're
issue.
both the same, exactly.
It's just like what, bleach flask, cigar box, and then yeah,
Yep. Those are the
it's
Which is
add-ons right
no
there.
another
fun.
thing. It's weird how they're like, let's make the speed bottles better, and then they didn't touch the best speed add-on,
They
which
didn't
makes it
touch
so
cigar box, so
you can
you can
see
just expect it
everyone.
like that. It's so predictable, but
Mhm,
it's what do you do about it? You just keep distance from
exactly.
clown and everyone hides until he gets invigorated near you, and then you pre-run everything, you pre-drop
Exactly.
everything, you still
So
pre-drop everything. The
it is
counterplay
boring.
against clown is the same. He just hits you
Yeah,
around corners.
yeah. So it is currently pretty boring to go against him, but I feel like this is a good direction for him to go against. Less, I'm going to hit you over and over again, and more, I'm going to use my tools to catch up with you quicker, and you have to react to that. But right now, the problem is just you can't react quickly enough. Anyways, my
Yeah.
thoughts.
Steve, your thoughts on Clown's current speed
Uh,
boosts?
I think he just can't be everywhere on the map at once. So
Yeah.
if you take it into consideration that if you're one person against clown, trust that the rest of your team should be doing their thing. If you're one person against clown, use everything. Don't feel guilty about dropping pallets, but
Mhm.
save them, you know? Still make him have to chase you down. Take the chase and take his attention away from everything else. Because if he can get around the map super fast, though his worst thing is having to use that time to put someone on the ground.
Yeah.
So instead of letting him pressure gens and run around and finding everyone, if you have his attention, still keep it. Keep it as long as you can. That's your best counterplay. Uh, as far as playing clown, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
Bleach flask cigar box, and just spam yellow bottles. Just
Bang.
provide
Yeah.
all over the map.
Bang.
It,
Sorry.
if you're looking for like real tips on how to play clown or real advice on what this change means, I think there's probably more clown mains out there than we think. And
Hmm.
especially with this new change, you're going to find a lot of people who are going to say, "Oh, I always loved clown. Thank God he's strong now. I can do nothing but play clown now." And you're going to find a lot more clown mains. It's going to stick around. People are going to love playing clown now that he's different. And I like that. I like that a changed killer can bring back old mains, people who put the killer down because they fell off.
Soda remains. What is up? Oh,
Yeah,
what's happened to you?
please.
Do either of you think they'll revert the Clown changes or
I
tweak
don't think
them
they'll revert
at
most of
least?
them.
Just
I
change
think
a
they'll
couple
revert
numbers and he'll be fine.
exactly. Yeah, I
That's
think
it.
some of them will go down.
Cigar box isn't getting changed anytime soon, and I think that's it. That's
Womp
the real
womp.
issue. Is it's just a
No.
purple add-on. They'll People will run out
Yeah.
of them,
Mm.
maybe.
Yeah, I will say, I do feel bad for that one clown main who wrote a 300-page guide,
Oh yeah.
and now he has to
That
change
one
half
clown
of it
name,
because now it's
Aaron
not.
ad. Yeah,
Yes, it's no
he's
longer about
got
the
better
flow, it's about
advice
the
on what
speed.
clown changes today mean.
So, Mr. Miss Clawman, I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry that your guide kind of got have to be changed a lot because they were like, let's make him fast. I hope you're still having fun with him though. He is a cool character, even if he makes me want to scream.
I think I do escape against Clown more often than I used to, just because I think the haste bottles I've been able to use them to my advantage because they do work on survivors as well. Um, Part of me thinks they're not going to do anything with Clown. They're not going to tweak anything, and then they're just
No.
going to disable the haste and hindered stacking like they were going to a few updates back. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me thinking the most negative way of how behavior might handle tweaking a killer's kind of issues right now. But I don't know. I'd like to be proven wrong. Please, behavior. Please prove me wrong because Clown people are hating on the Speedy Clown. With that, let's jump into the load of bugs that have come along with this patch or this update, excuse me. And these, I'm going to guess, are likely caused by. So if you didn't notice, this update was much larger than past updates. And that's because with this update came an engine update. And if you're not familiar, DBD's code is not particularly clean. It's very much known to be referred to as spaghetti code,
Yes.
but which is probably a reason why we have all these really really bizarre bugs. So, for example, if you've seen in the offering screen, we now have a new character that is beloved by the fans called Jim. Jim the Beam, the metal beam. He's there on the left.
Here for one patch only, Jim the Beam.
No, take Jim. I love
if we don't get a Jim charm and badge and banner, I'm gonna riot. Like, give us all those and more.
Oh, I
please.
want a full Jim chapter. Ask
oh
for
my God, the new killer, Jim.
Jim the Killer. Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Jim the Beam.
Jim the Beam.
That'd be crazy.
Sipping down a nice shot of Jim Beam. The Jim Beam.
I love puns. So yeah, that's a big one, but also it's kind of become a meme, and it's pretty harmless. We have fog vials being unable to start chases. This is situational, I think, and doesn't always happen. I've not experienced this myself, but I have seen it.
They patched it.
Used.
I'm going to tell you, they patched the fog vial chase issue.
That's good. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. That's good to know. So it's not an issue anymore, but that was an issue. It's kind of a serious thing, so it's good that they got that fixed immediately. This is something I've noticed. So when you're in the lobby and you're going through your menus as Survivor, particularly Survivor, I don't think this was a killer issue. I continuously hear the ready up sound, like someone is spamming it. That like shish noise. I hear it constantly when I'm backing in and out of like my loadout or customization, and it really bugs me. That's just something I've noticed. I've not seen anyone else mention it, but I talked to a few other people who I've played DBD with, and they said they also heard it, so I don't think I'm crazy. Then we have some perk-related bugs, which we mentioned earlier. Streetwise is bugged, where you can get infinite charges, essentially, on medkits. Medkits... what else?
Things, and apparently it stacks somehow.
Yeah. So
either
it's
way,
essentially...
if you're running it right now, you're cheating. If you use
it. Yeah. Don't use this.
Please don't use it.
Yeah. It works with the three that require usage. This are the medkits, the toolboxes, and the flashlights. Those are the three.
Yeah.
It won't work on keys or maps.
Yeah.
Or fog vials.
If I had to take a guess why that happens, I'm guessing it's partly because the engine update messed everything up, but also because they added three new items. Fog vials, the maps, and the keys. Maps and keys use charges when you pick them up. So it's like 6 times you can use it, 8 times you can use it, etc. So I think when you open that chest with Streetwise, since Streetwise came out and was updated with these perks in mind, it's like, oh, this is actually a map. I'm going to add 8 charges. So you can use it 8 times. And then it's like, wait, you don't have charges. So I'm going to turn you into, or not usages, I'm going to turn the usages into charges. So it gets 8 charges. And since it keeps doing that, every time you pick it up and put it down, it's like, okay, I'll add more. And then soon enough, you have a medkit that technically has 87 map ability uses, but it's actually getting 870. That's my crack, I fear. It's probably wrong, but that's why I would have to guess to why it's happening.
Crazy nonetheless, because I've seen people getting endless medkits and endless flashlights, and it's crazy. So, weird. Really weird bug. People are asking them to kill switch it, and they kind of said they don't think it's game breaking. So, that response has not been seen lightly. That was just a couple hours ago we saw this. So, CV, any thoughts on Streetwise or their denial to kill switch this perk?
If the game was designed around infinite items, it wouldn't make sense to say it's not the point. You're not supposed to be able to have an item that's never ending. But the fact that it is only one perk and a survivor kind of has to waste their whole time making one item super strong, it still doesn't give you infinite syringes.
Yeah.
But you can ostensibly loot a toolbox and then keep charging it up until it has 1,000,000 charges and then hand it off to a random player. And then that random player who doesn't know that there's a bug in the game just uses the toolbox they were given, and boom, they've done a gen in 40 seconds and they don't know why that happened. So people can inadvertently just break the game right now. It's bad. It's not fun. And I don't think people are really doing it on purpose, but the people who are kind of trying to cause chaos and mischief. Yeah. So if you see somebody asking you in your lobby, can I use the Streetwise bug? Tell them politely, please don't.
Absolutely not.
That's all.
Get out. And I feel like that kind of adds to the whole like 2v8 problem that Bryson mentioned, specifically how this is a survivor thing. And I kind of feel like that ties into the pig thing because people were making a joke, but some people believed it, like me. I thought that was real. So people are like, "Oh, Kaylee's getting treated unfairly." I could totally see that being like a thing when they're saying, "Oh, Streetwise is not a problem. We're not going to kill switch it." So, yeah, something interesting to know.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. That hopefully they can patch that as soon as possible, or if they decide to kill switch it, that'd be nice too.
We'll have to wait and see.
I've seen some other perks bugs, like Blood Rush can give you not infinite, but it can give you, what is the perk when you immediately start running?
Sprint
And
burst.
yes, it gives you sprint bursts
nice.
while you're still exhausted in the middle of
I
chase,
saw that
which
too.
is kind of just weird.
I think it's a vigil issue.
Oh, a visual issue.
I think vigil works while you're running.
Oh, that's weird. How does that happen?
Interesting.
How do these things
I
happen?
think that's part of it.
Whose tiny little
hopefully
hot dog in the code got deleted?
It's something
and now
like
it's
that
ruining
where you
everything.
can, still run out of exhaustion while running.
That's so
Oh my
weird.
Crazy.
How does that happen? Oh my God.
We talked about Michonne's stuff. Daryl sometimes randomly screams, and it's pretty loud. I've not seen this one. Maddie, did you
I
add
haven't
this one?
seen it in person. I've seen it in clips though. He'll just randomly scream, and it's weird. It's like, are you okay, Daryl?
Okay. Oh wow,
Are you having a
weird.
bit of a heart attack? Oh my God. He just couldn't handle the fog, I guess. Damn.
Yeah, he's got PTSD. There's some map-related bugs. So, for example, some of the picnic tables on the Withered Isle map, killers can just walk right over them. I've seen this several times already. I think this is primarily the Five Nights at Freddy's map in the back where there are picnic tables, and there's like a pretty unsafe pallet there. You can just killers can just walk right over them, and so there's really not a loop there. So be wary of those.
I love things like that. Sometimes it's intentional, where it's like, oh, okay, if you take a window vault with enough elevation, you can go over it. A lot of killers can do that, and it's kind of intended. But they've done issues like that before. Where on Ormond, you could like walk up rocks. On like Record Yard, you could walk.
I
up
remember
tires.
that. Oh my God, you're right.
Well, I think there was one patch where you could like walk up a hill from a different angle, and that one was pretty fun to get survivors with.
I remember there was one bug on, I think, Old Haddonfield where Old Haddonfield. It was Garden of Joy. You could like run up a rock and then they could never get you.
You could walk out of the map, off the rock.
You could walk out of the map. I remember
That's
that.
what it was. Yeah.
On Autohaven Records, there was a bug where a corner of the map just got deleted and you could just walk out. Like you couldn't escape. Yeah. You could just walk out and fall out of the map and then respawn. It was weird. And it was
that happened a lot in 2v8 there for a while. It was kind of crazy because like the tiles were kind of weird because of the 2v8 size map. So yeah, so watch out for those loops, picnic tables on Withered Isle. This is a bizarre one. Running up certain sides of the stairs can slow or speed you up as killer or survivor. What? How does this happen?
I'm curious to see this.
What code is like you will go faster when you go up the right side of the stairs? Like, is this real life, maybe?
How messy and weird is your code for this? Like, I'm not a game developer. I don't work with code daily. I know a little bit of CSS and HTML, and that's about it for my job. But like, this is insane. I don't know. I'm not a game developer, so I don't know how that happens. But man, it's wild.
It's just so oddly specific that gets me. It's like when you're running up a certain side of the stairs, either up or down, you get slower or sped up. Like how? Why? Well, why does that happen? Is it like? Do they just get like really hyper running down the stairs? Like, yay!
It's the verticality. It always is. There's always diagonals in games that ruin everything.
It's like the hills with Garden of Joy where you can run up the rocks. Oh my God. It's like, it's prophesized. It's going to happen every time. Deja vu. Oh my God.
And then finally, I wanted to cover Last Stand. We kind of discussed this earlier. It's giving you faster vault speeds, and it can sometimes make you dodge certain projectiles like Deathslinger's Spear, which really sucks for Deathslinger, and just killers going against that. I've gone against it a little bit as a killer. I didn't really have much of an issue if I decided to just break the pallet and move on. But yeah, it's a serious issue, and hopefully they can get that fixed because that perk does not have anything to do, based on the wording, with vault speed. So hopefully they get that addressed immediately. Before we dive into anything else? Because I know we're running along a little bit. Maddie, your thoughts on kind of the 9.1 update and The Walking Dead as a whole?
Oh, okay. Walking Dead as a whole. Okay. I'm gonna just make the Dead by Daylight thing really brief because I have a
Yeah,
lot to
go
say
for it.
about The Walking Dead. Honestly, it's just weird. I was kind of a bit more negative. I was like, how could they have this happen after the FNAF chapter? But knowing there was that engine update, it's like, okay, things were gonna break. But it's like, if they knew things were gonna be breaking, I was a little sad that they didn't try and like prepare us a bit more. Like, hey, there's gonna be some more bugs. Have some compensation. We're to get right on it. We're sorry these are happening. Sorry about that. It's just kind of like stuff. Give us money
Mm-hmm.
and we'll
Yeah.
fix it later. It's like, okay, I get it's life service, but like, it doesn't feel great. Anyways, now I'm going to talk about The Walking Dead as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So, as my little assignment for this episode, I rewatched season 1 of The Walking Dead, which soon became season 1 and 2. And I know season 2 isn't the best. It's probably like in the bottom half of the seasons. It's still an okay season, and there are some
Mm-hmm.
things I really liked about it. But one of the first things I want to talk about is just The Walking Dead as a whole. The first episode, I think, on release had like over 20 million live viewers or something like that. It was a crazy number. I could be totally wrong, so please be free to fact check. I didn't have time to fact check, and I was also lazy. Sorry. But The Walking Dead was such a huge thing, and people don't really talk about it anymore because I think it went on for way too long, and people started getting kind
Yeah.
of bored of it, which is kind of a shame because in I think season 8 they had this really cool concept with the Whisperers. I never really saw it, but I heard people loved the concept of like this faction that was kind of with the Walkers. I think that's right. So that was really interesting, and it was a shame because it was so late into the series, most people didn't care. But I think one of the main reasons why The Walking Dead was so popular, in my opinion, was not only the atmosphere, but how they communicated their story. Because when I was rewatching season 1 and season 2, one of the things that stuck out to me was the interpersonal conflicts, not just with people outside of the group, but in the group specifically. There's one scene where Andrea, one of the characters in the group, and Lori, the former wife of Rick Grimes, have this conversation about kind of like what are they gonna do with this one girl who's really suicidal? She doesn't want to live anymore. She's terrified of the walkers after she learned about the outside world that her father Herschel tried to protect her from. And her name is Beth, by the way. Sorry about that. And Andrea, having tried to maybe kill herself before in the first season, where she wanted to stay in a room that was going to explode in the old science factory thing, she opens the bathroom where she can get stuff to hurt herself and says, "You can choose." Beth goes in, she locks the door, and she slits her wrists. And after that, she starts panicking because she realizes she wants to live. Maggie and Lori break down the door, they help her, and Maggie, the sister of Beth, is fucking pissed at Andrea. And she kind of goes to her, it was like, that was not your right to decide. And she's like, no, but it was Beth's decision. And that was just really interesting because at first you were thinking, yeah, Andrea, you're a dick. But then you really think about it, it's like, if you were in Beth's shoes, would you not be happy to have someone like Andrea allow you to have that choice when everyone else took it away, even though you really want to figure it out on yourself? Now, there's also more interesting things because you're like, wait a minute, Beth is a child. She's like under 18. And this woman who's older than her is saying, yeah, go ahead and kill yourself if you want. And it's just really interesting because there's a lot of these interpersonal conflicts I could go on in season 1 and season 2, which season 2 was pretty boring, but there's a lot of these interesting
Mm-hmm.
conflicts between the characters that really make you think, wow, people really thought out everything that would happen in a zombie apocalypse and how real people would react, which is, I think, is another reason why people like the show, is that the people feel real. It doesn't feel like they're fake. It feels like they're actually reacting to how anyone else would react in a zombie apocalypse, which is a bit weird because in the show, they said that zombies don't exist, or the creator, I think, said zombies don't exist in their universe. This is kind of like their first time with zombies, and so it's like, okay, interesting. Anyways, there's another thing that I think is really cool about The Walking Dead, and that's the visual storytelling without speaking with words. There's this one really cool scene where T Dog, after getting infected by getting his arm scrapped by a rusty blade, he's kind of not feeling well. He wants to smoke. He searches a car, finds a cigarette. He's happy. He grabs the cigarettes. He looks behind in the car and he sees a booster seat covered in blood. And nothing is said. He doesn't say anything. He just gets really freaked out, leaves the car, and that's the scene. And I think that was really compelling because even though nothing was said, nothing was done, it shows how horrifying the zombie apocalypse was when it first outbreaked. It didn't care if you're a child, it didn't care if you're a woman, it didn't care if you're gay, black, white, etc. You were going to die if they could get to you. And that's why I think it was so terrifying about The Walking Dead, is that it doesn't spare anyone. You are going to die either by their hands, someone else's, or maybe even your own. And if you're lucky to survive that long, maybe you won't feel like that. Maybe you'll be like Beth. Maybe you want to give up. And I just think that's really interesting because those first couple seasons really deal with that. And then I feel like after season 5, they really delved into the bad guys want to kill you. The bad guys are not the walkers, they're the people. And then they kind of did that for 8 seasons, and people were like, we're bored. No more.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because they had really good characters like Negan, the governor, and of course the Whisperers that I mentioned before. But then I felt like there were others that I don't even know of that probably exist in later seasons that I just didn't care to watch because it was the same thing over and over and over again. And I don't know, it felt like sometimes characters who were pretty good, like the governor or Negan, were trying to be replicated by other characters that people just not care for. And they kept doing the same thing, like instead of a farm, it's a small town. Instead of a town, it's a prison. Though the prison is really good, it just kind of felt like they were doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I get you can't really do a lot in the zombie apocalypse, but maybe then you should have just ended it. That's my thoughts, though. I had a lot to say. Again, professionally after. Let's move on to Stevie.
Oh my god, you know so much about Walking Dead. I fell off immediately. Like, I watched it for the first few seasons, like while it was airing, because it was, like Game of Thrones. You all sat down and you just talked about the last episode that happened last week. You don't really get that anymore with media. So now it's like, if you are watching The Walking Dead, they need to keep pumping out episodes for years. And I think they're just, limping the franchise along.
Yeah,
it's not really what it is. The first season was Kino, and then after that, it was a great time, but it was up and down, and then back down all the way. I want to see the spin-off, though, where they kind of just jump to Rick and Michonne in the future, because it seems like The Walking Dead does best when it's like written material from the comics. I think they diverged, and then at some point it was just the show writers had to keep it going.
And then they kind of got lost in the sauce.
Yeah. You want something that's pre-written so you can see how that story goes.
Yeah, and it's a shame too because there's this one spin-off, I can't remember its name, but it's with Negan and Maggie. And if you don't know the characters,
City.
Huge spoilers, yes, but huge spoilers. Maggie was the boyfriend and then I think wife of Glenn. And Negan, in a game of kind of like fate / twisted macabre whatever, he killed Glenn. So Maggie is forced to travel with Negan, who killed her love of her life. And you're thinking, oh, how would they react? Why are they together? Ooh, interesting. But it's like, why would I want to watch that when I also have to watch Rick and Michonne, where even though I love these characters, I love them so much more. And then there's, I think, a third spin-off. And then I think there was a fourth spin-off when the show was still airing, which was basically like the day before the apocalypse happened. And it was called like Day Zero, and we're following a totally different cast. And then like half the cast never showed up again, and then half the cast showed up in the normal show. And then guess what? We don't see them again. So it's kind of like too much. And then none of it matters. Why?
Yeah, there's a lot of The Walking Dead. I've seen all of The Walking Dead show. I've seen a couple seasons of what's called Fear the Walking Dead.
That's what's called
Fear
the Walking Dead.
Which is the spin-off, but it starts a few days before the infection starts, and then it kind of leads into well past the infection. And there are some crossover characters that cross over between both shows because they eventually did air parallel to one another. I have seen half of the Rick and Michonne show. I fell off just because I didn't really enjoy
the Rick and Michonne show.
Yeah, the Ones Who Live is what that one's called. They also have a Daryl Dixon show with Daryl and Carol, and then they have the Dead City show, which is about Maggie and Negan. Haven't seen those, but what I will primarily stick to is The Walking Dead. I was one of those millions of people who watched it that premiere night. It was on Halloween. I remember very vividly. I was in high school or something, so I didn't trick or treat at the time, but it was on Halloween. I was handing out candy to trick-or-treaters while my parents took my little sister out trick-or-treating, and I was watching The Walking Dead, and I remember just loving it. My mom watched it too after I did, and she loved it as well, and we just kind of watched it. And then I started reading comics after the first season aired, and I read all the way up until after the governor conflict. And so when it comes to the show, My favorite season is 3 and 4 and part 4, which is the Negan, or not the Negan, the Governor prison arc. I really like the Governor. He's gruesome. He's also really gross. He's really gross in the comics, like much, much worse than he is in the show, but still really cool in terms of how they implement him and how he interacts with Rick. For those of you who don't know, in the comics, the Governor cuts off Rick's hand. I think it's his left hand. That doesn't happen in the comics. But they eventually do cut off someone's hand in the show, but it's no significant character.
I think
it's
like Herschel.
That's his leg. They do. I think they do Aaron's hand later on, and he gets like a. Yeah, he's a later character. He's one of the LGBTQ characters, one of the few that are in there. But yeah, The Walking Dead show really takes a nosedive, I think, after the prison arc. Yeah. I think Negan is an okay villain. I really don't like that they keep him alive, although I know that's kind of something they bring in from the comics. But yeah, the show, I wouldn't recommend watching the base show all the way through. Like those later seasons when Rick leaves and then Michonne leaves and then Maggie leaves. Like then you just have Daryl and Carol running the show. And I just don't think those characters can hold a show called The Walking Dead. Like, I think Rick Grimes is The Walking Dead. Like, you start with Rick Grimes from the very beginning, from him waking up in that hospital, him walking through it, discovering we're walking through with him, and then to see him kind of leave the show, which really sucks. You know, he left because he wanted to spend more time with his family. Totally get that. So reasonable. Can't be mad at a guy for that. But, man, it just sucks that we couldn't see kind of Rick move through that show the rest all the way, because I think Andrew Lincoln really made that character shine, and I just don't like the direction they took with The Ones Who Live. Like that setting they put them in is just not enticing to me. So, and then I'm not going to spoil it because that show, they do something at the very beginning with Rick that I really dislike, and I just don't think makes any sense logically, but that's my opinion. But that's my relationship.
No, that's good enough. It's not a spoiler, but it makes me want to watch it. Yeah,
just watch the first episode. You'll know within the first 10 minutes or so of what happens.
I want to see it.
Yeah. So it's only 8 episodes too, or 8 or 10 episodes, I think. Like it's not a long season.
It's pretty quick.
So that's kind of my thoughts. The Walking Dead, the comics are great. I recommend those. We have the first 2 compendiums. Me and my partner, he's obsessed with The Walking Dead, like obsessed, y'all. Like he has so many pop figures, and I've got him the box set, and he is an action figure. He's obsessed. He loves it, and I love supporting him with his fascination. So
that's cool. That's cute.
That is very cute.
With that said, does anyone have any closing thoughts, comments regarding this update, this episode, The Walking Dead in general?
I could talk about Pig for hours. We missed that change, but let's keep that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Nobody should think about Pig. It's fine. She's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, she's good. She's good.
Okay.
Maddie, any thoughts?
I guess my only thought is that I'm really glad The Walking Dead is here, even if it's really laggy. I've known people who wanted this for years, and now that's finally here, they're really happy. And for me personally, for someone who grew up with The Walking Dead with my friend and like reading the comics on the bus with them, even though I didn't really understand it because I was still on like season 2, I am just really happy that it's here. I'm happy that we got the voices of Andrew Lincoln and Daryl's voice actor, who I'm not remembering at the moment. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Norris. And I'm just really happy that it's here. And even though it's buggy, it just feels like we got another piece of horror fame with us, along with FNAF and like Chucky and all this other stuff, which makes me want Jason and the Predator so much fucking more. Please,
yeah, same.
Please.
Same.
They have a place. Everything has a place in DBD. Please. Don't miss out on your spot.
I don't think we want like Jim Fortnite in here.
I'll take Jim Fortnite.
You would take Jim Fortnite. If I were Charm
I'll take Alan Wake from Fortnite in Dead by Daylight.
Oh, don't say that. That hurts my heart. That hurts my heart, Stevie.
No, I mean, I love that Alan Wake was in Fortnite and DVD, and it's so cool. It's something like that.
What if we got Sonic the Hedgehog as the new killer? Let's be
Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's a horrible idea.
I don't think thought about it.
Do you think behaviors actually thought about it? Like, what if
I
we
think
add
so. I think that they have. I think they've at least thought about that, like Sonic the Hedgehog in some capacity. Like, can we add?
Sonic.exe? Oh my
Yep.
god.
Can we add Creepypasta Sonic? Can we add Dr. Robotnik? Can we add?
Oh no.
Hear me
Okay.
out, hear me out. New DLC, the Creepypasta chapter. Survivor, Jeff the Killer. He's a
It's just
survivor for some reason. The Killer, Sonic.exe. The map, Crystal Cove said, I don't know. Boom. Instant Many, thank you behavior. I will be taking calls tomorrow. Call 452-978. I don't know, I'm doing accent 6378.
the
Boom.
real phone number, by the way.
Yeah, that's my real phone number, by the way. The one that I totally struggled saying out loud.
Okay. Well, we'll wrap up there. Hopefully, there's no
Yeah, we're
Sonic coming to
spiraling out
GBD
now.
yet. I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you all so much for listening. Remember, listeners, if you want to send us questions like Fabian did earlier in the episode, you can email us at redstainradio@gmail.com. Send us in your questions, comments, ideas for future discussions, or your feedback. We'd love to hear it. In the meantime, share this podcast with a friend or family member. We greatly appreciate you. Thank you, Stevie and Maddie. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you in the fog next week.
No, thank y'all. Bye.